What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Monday Night Live. We've got a full house. We're talking graps. It is the last Monday of the month. So, we're kind of celebrating International Women's Month here on the show. We've got some of our favorite ladies, our sisters in UK wrestling chat here with us today. We've got T and Tussles, AJ, and Natalie. How are we doing, ladies?
Feeling good, feeling great. Thank you for having us on.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. And of course, we've got WRESTHINGS MVP Anarfi in the building, and myself, Mekz, the WrestleMania. Anarfi, what are you saying?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. Feel like we're heading towards British summertime now. So yeah, just looking forward to what things gonna bring in it. But I feel like we just come from a great weekend of British wrestling as well. So shout out to everyone that took part in that as well, man. It's been nice. It's nice to see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, man. Spring is coming. Summer is coming. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, we've got some of our favorite ladies in the place. If you guys go down into the description, you guys can see their channel T and Tussle releasing bi-weekly podcasts. So obviously make sure you check them out, follow along, and of course, like, subscribe, share, hype, comment, all of those things. And without further ado, we're going to get into the main topic of today, where we are talking about none other than Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, once upon a time, the belt collector. One by one, she is dropping those titles. I think we saw another title lost over the past weekend or so. Mercedes Moné is down to 3 titles, people. From 13, I think she had it at the height of it. She's down to 3. Now, straight away, and I'm coming to you first. Did the whole belt collector thing as a gimmick work? One, as a means to obviously bring people into new promotions and put new eyes on new promotions, but also, like she wanted to do, raise the profile of women's wrestling worldwide. Did this gimmick work in your opinion?
Okay, I'm gonna try and be not biased because that's like Mercedes Moné is my goal, right? So I feel like it worked in her favor. I'm gonna be so honest. It worked for her. Like it worked for her legacy because at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be so honest, half the people that she's lost this to, like she's lost the titles to, I still don't know who they are, and I don't know half of these companies. I'm gonna be really honest. So as much as I want to say, like, it did work. It got people talking about women's wrestling. It got people focused on where she gonna go next, on where who's she gonna take the title from next. I mean, there was even women coming up to her, coming up to her on social media saying, me next, me next. But it was, again, it just came across a bit self-serving, in my opinion. Like at the end of the day, she's the victor out of this. Like, and maybe that's good. Maybe that's what she wanted. That was her goal. That was her aim. That she wanted to get people talking about women's wrestling. For the major companies, like, again, I don't think at the end of the day, like apart from CMLL, that's what I call them, and Rev Pro and AEW, I don't think I'm gonna watch. Like, I'm not gonna tune into Poland wrestling. I'm not gonna tune into Denmark wrestling. I'm not gonna tune into Italian wrestling. Like, it's not like. And it's so sad because I actually don't know who the champions. I mean, I could just go and search it, but I don't want to search it because I'm not interested. I'm not interested. So yeah, I mean, what she's done for herself is great. She's cemented her legacy as somebody that has put over these women and has got, our eyes on women's wrestling. But in terms of like the belt collector gimmick, it was great. But I mean, there is the argument of devaluing a championship. And again, my thought process in this all has eventually she was going to lose all the titles, yes, but then for me, like the way my mind works is that she's going to lose these titles and then she's going to go straight for the AEW world women's championship. So it sort of devalued their championships, the ones that she just lost, and elevating the women's championship for the AEW one to meet like insane heights, because that's going to be the end of the goal at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's just how I feel about the whole title run. It was nice to watch, but yeah, it hasn't done anything for anybody else outside of Mercedes Moné.
Big up the Black Caller. He's put in a little chat, a comment on the side there saying that I've never rated the belt collector thing. It just takes opportunities from people that's there. I do get it brings eyes on small promotions. Natalie, what's your thoughts on it? Do you think was it self-serving like Ange said, or do you feel like it raised the profile of women's wrestling outside of AEW around the world? What's your general thoughts on how it went?
So for me, it's a bit of a mixture. I see it as two parts. I see it as Mercedes Moné, the character, and Mercedes Venado, the person and the wrestler. As the character, I think it's actually an integral thing to her storyline, to her come up. I pretty much see it as her collecting the belts is a distraction for herself in particular. So for example, when she lost to Tony at All In, she went on another belt hoard and collected slightly more. And it's because she can't amount to the big prize, to the AEW Women's World Championship. So the belt collecting, in a way, is showing like, while she's this confident, she has this confident bravado, it's an actual insecure wrestler behind all this gold, because she's currently distracting herself because she knows realistically, and we all know, the big prize is the women's championship. Then there's Mercedes Venado, the wrestler, who even from like WWE days has always just wanted to make the space for women's wrestling. And this has been like the only place where she's been able to have a say and do it in a way that she sees fit. Yeah, I agree with AJ in terms of like, I can see where it's self-serving, but also these wrestling promotions wouldn't have agreed to it if they didn't think it was going to do something for them in particular. So where like, okay, for some people, it may, like some of these wrestlers, they may not have heard of them or these companies, but there are people who would have, you know, seen these new wrestlers in these companies and gotten excited and more intrigued to look further. And in that way, what I've also noticed is that there's so much more linkage between promotions now. Like a couple of years ago, we couldn't even talk about other promotions, right? And now we're literally seeing wrestling becoming interconnected, especially across women. I love that it's even on the women's space where it's so much more interconnected and storylines are like cross-cutting. And so I think she is doing something. Yes, it might be self-serving, but there is an element in the long run where it will be actually quite beneficial.
No, that makes sense. Anarfi, what do you feel like the flaws are? Like, where did she go wrong with this, or the companies that booked her? Like, is there any way that this could have been better than it ended up being?
The thing is, I complained early, so I feel like I got everything out, but I complained not knowing how this film was going to end, and I feel like Mercedes Moné done something pretty great for women's wrestling overall. I can't say where the flaws and stuff were, but maybe the flaws will probably be like how it started off and the middle part of it. But I feel like the overall outcome of it has been sick. Like the fact that she's able to put these women on. For example, Alexis Falcon just won all her belts over the weekend. That's a big deal for her. She's current Progress champion as well. That means a lot to her. She went over to Italy, dropped her belt there as well. And I feel like, cool, some of us are not as hardcore Mercedes Moné fans, but Mercedes Moné, she's got a very big fan base. Very big fan base. So if you say something bad about Mercedes, they're coming after you. Imagine all those people in her fan base watching every single match across the whole of the world and finding out about these new wrestlers. Pretty much the same as equivalent, not say equivalent, but a bit like with Lowstone, with what Bailey's doing. Bailey's showcasing this talent, these women and around the world, and giving these girls a chance to go and showcase who they are. And I think Mercedes Moné has done the same thing there. But instead of her, like, you know, just picking random, she's picking the best in that certain company and giving them the, you know, the showcase or the limelight for a bit. I think she's done well, man. Even there was even one clip as well. I saw, I think it was after Italy show, she hosted a seminar with the women there, and all the women were giving great feedback. And I think that's pretty sick. Mercedes Moné is someone that is, you know, she's top tier when it comes to women's wrestling. She's done it all. She's done WrestleMania, All In, Tokyo Dome. And for these other wrestlers who are just coming up or just look at her, or have watched her from when they're young, been able to train with her, I think she's done well. I think she shut me up. At first, I was getting on, so I was like, "Oh, why is she winning these belts?" But she's done a good job. I have nothing bad to say other than hope it just translates on AEW TV. If it doesn't, then we can have another conversation. But she's done a very brilliant job with what she had in mind. Like, it surprised me a lot.
Yeah, I think, like you guys have mentioned, like what's kind of been invaluable is maybe going to these smaller promotions, having these chats, these seminars with you know, younger talents, less experienced talents, you know, kind of coaching and mentoring them, drawing a house for these smaller promotions as well, because obviously you put Mercedes Moné in the middle of your poster, everyone's turning up. Like, so I think she's been super invaluable that way. I think the actual on-screen execution of her holding 13 belts hasn't been good. Like, we complained for a while that, you know, she's in AEW. That's the biggest eyes that all of those belts, them belts are never going to be seen again, like on that kind of scale on AEW. So why wasn't the champion from Poland, from Denmark, from Azerbaijan running to AEW and like, I want my rematch here? Like, that would have been a massive showcase, you know? And it's not like she was on screen really doing much of anything that was impressive anyway. We often complained that she didn't often feel like she was part of the show, that she was just kind of either backstage doing a promo, but she wasn't really weaved in with like the main happenings of what was happening in the women's division at the time. So yeah, I feel like everything that she may have done off screen, that, you know, where these belts took her, would have been brilliant, but on screen with the belts, I just think they don't get it right. And it's probably politics behind that. No one wants their belt to look crap and all of this kind of stuff. Like, so yeah.
And also she was, correct me if I'm wrong, like during the whole belt collector thing, she was also like doing stuff with AEW. I think for the cool, you know, it's from the outcome, I'm seeing the reason why she didn't do this sort of stuff in it. Like, she didn't really mesh with AEW too much, because I feel like she was, correct me if I'm wrong, she was doing a bit with Tony Storm, Athena, and all that sort of stuff. And for her to just, you know, bring in these other wrestlers across to come and defend their belt might look a bit, you know, it would have been sick if, for example, I think if it was Rev Pro and Kanji came over and was like, I want to defend the belt collision, we'll be there. But for these other belts and stuff, I don't know if it really works for them. And I feel like it works better when she flies out over there and she's like, hey guys, I'm coming back to your country to defend my title, which I won from your best wrestler, aka your champion. Yes, do it. And from there, then everyone wins, because she's now getting people on her side. Look, the promotion is now paying her money. Promotion is now getting money from, you know, fans that are flying across. I'm even seeing a guy that flew to every single seat that she defended across, sending her belt across. You see it? So like, people are just definitely leaving the house for that. But I get it. I see, now that I've seen the outcome of everything, I get it. And we all know, we've just said on the podcast one time, we're just waiting for Mercedes Moné to drop all these belts so that she can head into All In and become AEW Women's Champion. And that's where I'm like, cool, yeah, let's run it. I do hope they bring back the whole her going through like that crazy, you know, what do you call it, when she was backstage and she was getting mad and that. Hope they still play on that. They need to play on that. But yeah, sorry, I jumped in.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think, yeah, so at this point, I think from memory, she's had maybe 2 opportunities at the AEW Women's Championship and failed both times, sort of thing, whilst still having 13 other championships. So I think in that sense, AEW have been smart, because they've really made that belt look like this is the massive target, you know, this is the massive trinket on top of the hill. Like, although you have all of these other belts, like this is the big one and you can't do it, sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully when she does return to AEW TV, it's very much like I've got to lock in and pay attention and, really concentrate on getting this done now, which, like we're saying, she will more than likely do at All In. In the chat, Emperor Jar says there's a great point there. We all know that major wrestling promotions are watching what Mercedes is doing, a la Stephanie Vaquer. Obviously, she had that match with Stephanie Vaquer at Forbidden Door, I want to say, and Stephanie Vaquer got signed straight off the back of it to WWE. So, okay, Natalie, I'm coming to you with this one. Does it help in that case? Because we know from the minute that has happened, Mercedes has kind of been online and been like, well, you guys are watching my matches. Whoever she's at in or sneak dissing, she's been online and she's like, oh, you guys are watching my matches. You're signing people that I've kind of had matches with and put in the forefront. Shouldn't she be mad at AEW if that's the case, as opposed to kind of almost sneak this in WWE? Because obviously, if you've given someone that pedestal and they see a good talent, they're going to sign them. Like, she means well by doing this tour with the titles and that, but like, she's then kind of like, I don't know, being a bit salty when someone gets signed off the back of it. Maybe not to her promotion. What's your thoughts on that, Natalie?
That's such an interesting question, and I've never thought of something like that. WWE did her wrong. I don't think she can ever be as mad as she was with WWE. So she'll suck it up and just take it on the chin because AEW is giving her the space to do all of this stuff. But what you're saying, I actually think can be incorporated into this paranoid, insecure, crazy character that she would hopefully develop later, where she's noticing that everyone is benefiting from her like achievements and accolades, and she's not benefiting from it. She's not reaching the world title like she should. So if they're able to incorporate that and sort of again, like you mentioned, I don't know how they'll deal with like the politics and stuff. But if they're able to incorporate that, even have some people appear, they don't have to have a match, but just have some people appear to the point where like Mercedes is completely having a breakdown, I think it could work. But yeah, your question's so interesting because I just feel like, yeah, she might be mad, but she'll suck it up because nothing will piss her off more than the WWE and what they've done to her. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, it's true. I think, yeah, like I was saying, she means well, but then you can't be annoyed if through your goodness, if this is truly from the the goodness of your heart, you can't be annoyed if then those talents get signed to places other than your company. Why didn't your company act fast, sort of thing? So yeah, I don't know if that was her just being a bit petty with WWE or whatever. But like we know, she's soon going to be returning to AEW TV. Like we were saying earlier, she hasn't really been weaved in heavy to the storylines. For someone that is, allegedly the highest paid woman in pro wrestling, like she feels very much still like a bit of a guest in AEW, like a guest appearance. Comes in, comes out. Like, you remember them, like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, when they walk on screen, everyone goes crazy, sort of thing. Like, but like she's not really there week to week. Like, Ange, how do we book Mercedes Moné now to All In? If All In's the destination when she wins AEW World Championship, what is the plan in your mind of how we get it done from here?
I think personally, if I had it my way, she would return at All In and like challenge for the championship. She's lost everything. You have to create like a sort of optic where she's now struggling to the point where like she's losing her mind, and she just shows up at All In and just wins the championship then and there. Third time's a charm, innit? That's how I would do it. Like I would not like I would not showcase her from now until then, on maybe like one promo where she's like completely lost it and then just leave it and then just come back at All In and then she miraculously wins the title. But yeah, like that's how I see it, the best way to do it. I can't think of anything else, because I just think like Thekla right now, for example, is doing a real good job at holding the title scene, because I've said it before. I think Thekla is going to be the champion, and she is the champion, and she's doing a real good job right now. And I think the women can do with somebody as big as Mercedes Moné just taking a step back. I mean, Toni Storm has she's forcibly having to take a step back now, but I think it's kind of good to just be able to showcase, if you really are about that women's wrestling life, you allow the other women like Thekla and the Sisters of Sin, Willow, to thrive a bit. Create a story where somebody is just looming in the background, ready for my opportunity, ready for my belt, because like, who is a viable, because I can't see right now, I can't imagine anybody as like viable, like enough to face Mercedes like right now or something. Like, who can she return to and be like, oh, I want my title back? Or unless Chris Statlander wins the title again, which I personally don't want. I just think flip the switch. I'm whoever wants to come for my title, whoever's holding the title at the time, come for my title, and then it turns out to be Mercedes. It's a big pop for All In, and we get the match. She wins, and then she walks out All In the champion. So that's how I would personally go about it. Yeah.
Okay, it'll be interesting her coming back out of, I guess, the wilderness and winning the title at the biggest show of the year. But rightly so, you obviously just mentioned Toni Storm. Toni Storm, they've said, is going to be away for maybe the best part of the rest of the year. So hope whatever that is isn't like a serious matter. That's a massive character, like literally in the shape of a wrestler and a TV character that women's division is going to miss. So I think their hand has almost been forced at this point. Tekla's doing an amazing job as women's champion, but it's almost like their hand at this point has been forced that they need to bring Mercedes back right now, because of just the void that Toni is going to leave. Or they can roll the dice, and some people might not want to hear this, but they still have a certain doctor under contract that would be a massive character for them to bring back right now, like to help things. Yeah, what's your thoughts? Because I know me and you are big fans of Britt Baker. Like, is it too late? Is it too late to bring her back into the fold if she ain't gonna sign a contract?
It's never too late if someone's sick. Bring that doctor in. Let her come and fix it. Let her come and bring the medicine for Mercedes Moné. I do feel like they need a second chance to run that back again. A lot of people didn't really like what happened at All In, I think 2 years ago. They definitely need to run it back in and have a better match. I feel like Britt Baker has still got more to give to AEW. I really like seeing her like on TV as well. She brings something to the product as well. Toni Storm leaving is definitely a big loss. I don't know what has happened here, but hopefully, like you said, it's nothing too serious. But Britt Baker coming back in and meshing with Thekla, Chris Statlander again, all these other women there, then yeah, let's do it, man. Let's make it happen. Another woman I thought would be nice to mesh with, I feel like she's kind of like building herself up slowly, is Marina Shafir. I can definitely see Marina Shafir doing some stuff with Mercedes Moné if we do get to that. I don't think we'd even see Mercedes Moné and even Megan Bain clash as well. So there's so much stuff that can happen, that can be done for when Mercedes Moné comes back, and she can definitely enter that fold. Remind me on how things are like on Bailey's contract. How long has Bailey got left at AEW?
Bailey's contract is up currently, like back end of the year. So we're maybe like September, October is when her contract will be up. Maybe it might be a bit before that, but it's not yet. She still has like some time. Britt Baker's is literally around the same time. I think Britt Baker's contract is up in November, and there's still no sign that she's re-signed right now. So if it's like, if we're giving you an opportunity to re-sign, and Tony Khan is still saying, "Oh, we hope to see Britt Baker soon," and all this kind of stuff, like, why am I going to put you on TV to get hot and then leave and then walk to the next place? A couple of people in the chat, that one guy in it, and Emperor Jar, they've mentioned Athena as well. I'll definitely say Athena is a big character that can fill the void of Toni Storm, like a Mercedes Moné, like a Britt Baker as well. But yeah, I think Mercedes is the one that we know for sure she'll be imminently back on TV. Natalie, same question to you. How do you kind of book Mercedes Moné towards the title from here, in your opinion? Natalie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to answer it. I don't know how to do it. I think we actually need to kind of rebuild Mercedes on on AEW TV from almost like from scratch, like she's new in the door, and let her tell the story of I've come for this title, lost twice, come back now, like, and yeah, we have to make her run through as many people as possible just to make her just to make it make sense, because she can't just kind of shoot her way to the title. It's not fair. There's a lot of people, and I don't think Tekla will be her match. I don't know about you guys, but if we're talking about All In, would be where she has the championship match and wins. I'm not sure Tekla's still going to be holding the belt by then.
No.
So who could be the champion?
If they really wanted to do something cool here, they can just run it back properly. They can try and bring back Athena into it, make Athena win the championship belt. Then when they get to All In, Athena drops the belt to Mercedes. I think that could possibly be something that we can do there, because I think they got some good stuff they can probably tell with other stuff they've had in the past. But yeah, you said something good there. Like you said, they need to rebuild Mercedes Moné. I think another thing as well, if Mercedes Moné is coming back, they need to make her a super babyface. She needs to be a super babyface. I don't think she should come back heel. I think they need to come back, and she used to basically tell a story where it's like, I'm trying to gain you guys love again, man. I didn't come here with a good start. I'm trying to get you guys back in like, I'm trying to get in you guys good books again. I want to become the AEW champion. I don't feel like you guys have had a solid AEW champion, you know. But yeah, Athena should be the one that she should drop it to. And I see Emperor Jar say Willow. I can't lie, Willow and Mercedes Moné. I'm tired of seeing that one. Please, part 1 and part 10. I don't want to see that one no more. That's what do you call it? That's a double disc. I don't want to see double. I want to see that one disc and finish, bro.
Yeah. AJ, what you saying?
Can I jump in? Like, the same way that you feel about Willow and Mercedes is the same way I feel about Mercedes and Athena. I think that rivalry is tired. I think it's giving like, I don't know. It's just like it's making Athena this placeholder for Mercedes. I'll be so honest. It just seems like all she's gonna do is fight. She's been in the company to just fight Mercedes when there's so many other women that she can fight and she can have great matches with. It's not just her and Mercedes every day. And I guess, you know, the same for Willow as well. It's just like, sorry to be crude, but it's like, let all the black people fight each other. It's like it's not. It's let's come up with something new. Like Willow and Athena, I would X them off. I want to see different combinations now. Like I want to see different things. I want to see different fighting styles, different potential stories to be made, different like the Britt Baker idea, fantastic. They've done it before. Let's do it again. But also, it's just like it the first time wasn't great. Like someone else, Megan Bain, Tekla, anybody else but Athena and Willow. Like I love them, but I'm sorry, it's tired now. It's too much. I want something. I want something new.
We're not running it back. We want something new. All right, Natalie, I'll come to you with this one then. If we're thinking with our WWE caps on and we are just selling a one-off kind of match for the biggest show of the year in AEW, and we know Toni Storm is not going to be there, then who is Mercedes' opponent for the Women's Championship? What is the biggest match I guess they could do in that division with Toni Storm not being there, in your opinion?
Depending how things are going, how funny will it be if they just throw Ronda Rousey in there just for bants?
That's actually not stupid. It's not as stupid as
I'd be
opinion,
pissed, but that if you throwing a WWE hat on, that would be. Wait, did they not? Didn't Mercedes were, I
I
guess,
don't,
as
I don't remember them
Sasha.
clashing.
Didn't they?
They must
They
have.
did have a match. They had a
must have.
match.
Mm.
Royal Rumble, right?
Let me
It
check.
sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
Royal Rumble. I'm sure they had a
The
match.
Raw Women's
Yeah,
And
title.
it was
Rumble. Yeah,
actually a
yeah,
good match.
yeah.
Yeah.
Woman's title. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
That,
Okay.
it's not as
Thinking
silly
with my
to mention at
WWE
all.
hat. No. Yeah. Thinking with my WWE hat. Money. Netflix. More money. Possible fights. That really, it really would be the WWE thinks money. It would be the match that sells the most. I don't think they should do it. Realistically, I liked the idea of Mercedes versus Britt, but I was at that All In and I hated that match, and I don't think they could make it better. I don't even know what's happening to Britt. I don't know where Britt is. I don't know what's going on. So I'll say Ronda Rousey, but I don't think that would be the match I personally want to see. But it's the match WWE and billionaires would love to see.
Yeah, it's not a very AEW match at all. Ronda Rousey, Ladies Moné, Women's Championship on the line. It is definitely not an AEW match, but like you're saying, name value and stuff like that, definitely one of the biggest matches they can put on, depending how they're gonna book Ronda Rousey over the next 5-ish months or so. Big up the Black Caller with the super chat. Thank you very much for that, brother. He says, found the channel a few weeks ago, loving the content. Will Cruz and Kuro interview was fire. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to see Mercedes back when she returns, but I think it's almost like, right, let's start this again properly, sort of thing. And like I said, I just want her in the weeds of everything. I want her really involved. I think she's got a lot to add, and yeah, just don't feel like we've seen it yet from the EW perspective. What move to we women's title scene over there this past week on SmackDown? We saw some of us predicted what was going to happen. It really happened. There was a segment between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill in the ring was confronted by B-Fab and Michin in the hallway, in the entranceway, only for them to actually have her back. They so all rounded Rhea Ripley in the ring, beat her down like a government mule before Jade Cargill picked her up and hit her with the Jaded. And we've almost got another iteration of the baddies from was Kira Hogan, Layla Gray, and Red Velvet. Now it's Beef. Coming to you, AJ. What was your thoughts when you saw Jade Cargill acquire some stooges, should I say, and now got a faction?
At first I was very confused. She just beat these two she beat these two a while ago. Michin, I can't count how many times she's beat her. But I'm I'm looking at it in a sentiment where it's like, if you can't beat them, you join them. And I think with the direction and the eyes that are on Jade right now, I think it definitely works, in the sense that the baddies faction has been recreated. It just makes me think though, like, Jade, it's like she can't function without people being a sort of supportive thing. I don't know what the word is, but I just think, because from all I've known Jade, yeah, she's been in a faction. Like, she has to have people. Like, she came into the WWE, she was in one of the biggest factions of there. They've been injured, they've come back, give you a bit of a singles run. I don't think, like, it's been going well. Now we have to put you in another faction again. So it's just making me really think about Jade's capability of being the single star. Like, why does she need, like, no disrespect to B-Fab and Michin. I think they're far more experienced than Jade. I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, in terms of WWE, like, TV, they're far more experienced. Why does she always need those kind of, like, people to kind of help boost her, if that makes sense? It's great. You know, love to see three black women on the screen. It's really nice. Again, all eyes are on Jade right now. And yeah, I would be interested to see how this goes into the build of Rhea versus Jade at WrestleMania, because now is giving like there's going to be unnecessary shenanigans, and I kind of like, I already know that a Jade, and I already know that a Rhea build is not that great, but I was kind of hoping of like it would end up being a thing where it was like, because Charlotte and Rhea's build wasn't great, but they put on a banger at WrestleMania. Now I'm not expecting Jade to put on a banger at WrestleMania, but I would have thought that it would have been at that kind of like sentiment where it was just like, okay, we have our expectations are very low right now, but when it gets to WrestleMania, they're going to put on a decent match. So like I said, it's interesting how you're going to incorporate the baddies to that WrestleMania match, and I just feel like WrestleMania is not the place to do something. Like, it's too the caliber is too high to do something nonsensical like that. But there has been interruptions. I mean, obviously, WrestleMania 2 years ago had the best interruptions in the entire last 5 minutes of our lives. But I don't know. I don't know. Like,
it's giving codependent.
Yeah, that's it. Codependent, and it's just like, can you not do things by yourself anymore? But you know.
The Black Caller says, unpopular opinion, Jade should have went to NXT. Natalie, do you feel like Jade's character needed this? Do you feel like she needed a new direction? They needed to do something to maybe make her more interesting? What do you think the reason is to giving her this faction?
First of all, that's not an unpopular opinion. That's just straight up facts. Jade should have gone to NXT. I'm surprised people are saying it's unpopular. We all know she should have gone to NXT, but I digress. Your question about whether this is a good new direction. Jade did need a new direction. I just don't know if this was the direction she needed. Can you swear on this, by the way? I never asked before.
Go for it.
This is the Wrestlings, you know. This is the Wrestlings. It's not Sky Sports.
No, because I'm just thinking, really, this whole feud is like who can throw the word bitch at every second and who has more emphasis when they could say the word bitch. And I'm tired. I'm so tired. And if this was the new turn, the new direction for Jade, where they're comparing their muscles, and did you see that on the very first promo?
Yeah.
My muscles are bigger than yours. My arms are bigger than yours. What the hell was that? Anyway, to answer your question, Jade needed a new direction, and I firmly believe that new direction would have worked out well had it been Charlotte or had it been Raquel. Because also I think Raquel, not that she necessarily needs a new direction, but it would have been two young stars who could have developed a turning point in the women's division in that moment, especially with Raquel being in the Judgment Day. I'm waiting for Judgment Day to implode, and that would have created some good tension, like across Raw and SmackDown, because obviously Liv is also challenging for the title. So it would have been great for a new direction for Jade if it was someone else. And if they want to establish her more as a heel, I don't mind how they're doing it. They're sort of making it out as if like Jade, she's doing the whole I'm above wrestling shtick right now, sort of, which that I'm mentioning her again, but that hasn't worked well before for some people in wrestling. It might actually work for Jade because what it does is allow Rhea to come in as like a whole new face, like a complete baby face. Rhea, Jade is someone who doesn't need wrestling. She doesn't need this. And that's the direction she goes in. Rhea comes in as the person who's, worked 10 times as hard, worked as from she was 16. She's here to defend wrestling and defends wrestling's honor. And that might work for Jade. Give her a lot more heat and might make the feud interesting. But I don't think this form of new direction actually will do anything for the match itself. I think the match will just be such a damper, which is why it really should have been Charlotte, because I know Charlotte would have sold the hell out of for Jade. Like, she would have sold for Jade so much. All to say, not a good direction so far.
Yeah, I really like your points there. I think one, Charlotte was someone that they've teased on a couple occasions, Jade and Charlotte face to face, and it even would have still played into Charlotte and Alexa's story of Alexa trying to make Charlotte a team member, but Charlotte still has her eyes and fingers gold. I can't help it. I'm a flair. This is what I'm after. This is what I've been, bred to go for, sort of thing. While Jade is almost trying to prove herself to Charlotte. She wants Charlotte's attention to prove to her that, I'm of your caliber. Again, you had an underrated opinion there in regards to Jade saying that, I don't need to wrestle. I'm above wrestling. If we take this all the way back, some of Jade's lore in WWE includes her going to NXT trials, them offering her an opportunity in NXT back in 2017, I want to say it might have been, and her apparently rejecting it because the money is less than what she was earning at the time. And obviously her husband is a professional baseball player. Like, she could bring that all into play. These guys tried to get me here. The money wasn't good. I didn't need their money. Like, her winning the women's championship could have literally been a story of, I'm the best here. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to win this championship. She wins the championship. Now I'm not going to defend it because no one here is worthy. And all of a sudden you've got a story and a character that everything starts, weaving together and making a bit more sense because of how they've ultimately booked things anyway. And then, like you're saying, Rhea could be like the knight in shining armor coming in on the white horse, trying to, rescue back the women's championship sort of thing. Yeah,
Mekz, you have too much faith. You have too much faith in WWE creative because they're so dumb. There's no way they would be able to come up with something like that. They're coming up with this now because the idea of a feud did not work out, that they had to focus on what was going on online and build up on the tension. You might as well be in creative because they're not thinking the way you're thinking. So that's something that should... that's something that should be in there.
Yeah, they're not even kind of touching on the tweet stuff. If they just went the shoot route and just like Rhea coming out and saying, so what were you saying about me online? Say it to my face. Then everyone's got to be like, whoa. Okay, whoa. Like, but yeah, I just feel like we know that this was meant to be Bianca and Jade. They've had to pivot. They've stuck Rhea Ripley in here. At this point now, with a faction behind her, I don't really believe Rhea's going to win at all at WrestleMania. And this is just literally a means to an end to get us to WrestleMania to sell a match, and then Rhea can lose and maybe go back and link Io Sky after that.
Quick question, Say again?
I was asking you just what do you think of the faction being put together? I think we had spoken about this.
Yeah, we spoke about it time ago. Yeah, I feel like it was good to see nice on screen. Obviously, we had a little nostalgia session today in the group chat. And Mekz was just throwing in videos of the baddies back in the day, and I was like, "Yo, this thing could defo hit like the WWE crowd. Like Jade can bring back the baddies and do a whole thing of Netflix baddies, Houston baddies, Washington DC baddies, like all that sort of stuff." But forget that for now. I just Mekz. I feel the same sentiment. Like when I did see them come out and stuff, Jade might be losing this, bro. Jade definitely might be losing this, and I also did think about another way they could have spun this whole thing. Let me know if my pen's run out of ink, but I've got an idea. Like, could they have easily just done this thing of like, cool, Jade, Rhea's won this. Jade comes full throttle on not Jade. Rhea comes full throttle on Jade. Like, I've got basically experience versus no experience. Jade just treats like a rookie and says, "I'm gonna beat you. I don't care what it is. I've main event. I've done 2 WrestleManias back to back. I've never been dropped out of WrestleMania. And yeah, you think you're gonna try and beat me at WrestleMania? Just play on that. And Jade now, Jade now looks like we can actually put faith in Jade. Like, okay, cool. Can Jade actually do this? Can Jade actually do this? But I don't think that Jade's character really works with that. After what we said about her saying she doesn't really care about wrestling, the whole look of her, the way she looks compared to where Rhea Ripley looks, the aura doesn't really work like that. But if they were to spin that, I think that could possibly be something that they could probably do, that could have done, innit? Which made the thing more exciting. But I'm not really a big fan of the whole bitch. Like, the bitching is bitching. It's too much. They need to allow the bitch a bit. You know what I mean? Like, the bitch is not turned to exo bully. Like, relax. Need to relax. There's too much bitch. Come on. So Yeah, like
it's something that WWE unfortunately lean on far too much when telling
yeah,
women's stories.
yeah,
It's
bitch,
literally who can say something that is just mediocre and then punctuate it with bitch, and
bitch.
then everyone's like, oh my god. So like it's very, very weak. It dates as far
Mm,
back to the divas stuff in like
yeah.
2015. Like they need to move past it, sort of thing. But
Mm,
yeah, I think
That's why I really rated the EO and Asuka storyline last year, where it
mm,
wasn't focusing on bitch at all. It was a proper storyline about friendship, breaking down your mentor, all that stuff. And you would think WWE would be able to like replicate something like that, or like, okay, that worked, we can do other stories. But no, you're so right. It's bitch, 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 and like women are so much more than that.
mm.
We don't do that on a daily. I'm not out here calling random women on the street bitch. Like we don't even do that on a daily. So yeah, no, it's a shame. Yeah, that's WWE
in
for you.
WWE they use the word bitch as a full stop. Like they make women in their promos use bitch like it's the full stop to end the sentence. Like it's not good enough. Like what's her face? Rhea is above this. Rhea
Mm.
is so above this. She's so clear. Like, and to be dragged into this, and then this is what we're doing. I think Jade denouncing wrestling, like I'm above wrestling. I don't need to be here. It's fine. Like you might as well go one extra and kind of do what MJF was doing when he was like, oh well, I'm only obligated to wrestle here. I don't need to
Mm.
wrestle you. And like, just make her just like almost like the anti wrestler that only just comes out for big pay-per-views to just
Yeah.
have a one-off match, and then she just lets the baddies do the rest of the stuff, sort of thing, week to week. But yeah, we'll see. I think at the very least, we have some type of activity between these two. Moving on to Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. I feel like we've got to a point where this story is about Liv Morgan that came from the PC and Stephanie Vaquer that came from the mean, tough, gritty streets of Chile. Who is going to be the better wrestler? Who can come out on top? And for me, if they're telling a story of what is the better place to come from, the PC or the Indies, there's only one winner, and it's Liv Morgan, because they're not going to make the PC look rubbish. Now, I think Liv Morgan's winning anyway. I think with how they booked Stephanie Vaquer this year, she's very lucky to even be going into WrestleMania as the women's champion. Although she's been
Mm.
great in matches, her overall booking hasn't been very good. And where does your interest levels lie when it comes to Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer and what we've seen on TV so far?
I'm a huge Stephanie Vaquer fan, so my interest levels are always going to be at 100. But that being said, I've not been interested in this feud at all. I'll be honest with you. After Royal Rumble, yeah, I just haven't really been focused on it because it's made like Stephanie Vaquer look weak, in my opinion. I don't think she looks like great. I don't think she's been looking strong. It's like every other week she's getting beaten up or she's coming out to beat up Liv and stuff like that. It's just not like I get the whole sentiments of like, oh, the streets versus the manufacturer, the wrestling manufacturers, and I mean I hear it, but it's just nothing to. It's just not it doesn't pique interest for me. Like I think Stephanie Vaquer is more than that, and I also think it's been too Judgment Day focused as well. Um, like with Kel being in the mix as well. Like at this point, you might as well make it a triple threat. But obviously, you're not going to like. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I would have. I understand like money is to be made and viewership is to be brought because I would have. At this point, I would have just said, I would have been more intrigued with a Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel match because it's the same similar stories. Like they're both, and I'm not just saying this because they're from like the same background ethnicity wise, but it would have been like more interesting. Like you see coming from this Chilean background versus this person, this the same Latino representation coming from this particular background. I would have been more interested in that because again, it gives us more depth and more scope to be able to explore who they both are. Because I still think Stephanie Vaquer is a bit of a mystery. I think it would have been a better opportunity for Raquel to grow as well, but then also discover her as well. But again, I understand that they have to sell a product, and obviously Liv has been a favorite for a long time. But yeah, I've just not been invested. But because it's Stephanie Vaquer and I love her and I'm rooting for her, I have had to just put my eyes to this rival, to this build to WrestleMania.
I think we said on this show a couple of weeks back, and I stand by. I think they would have made Raquel Rodriguez an absolute star overnight if she won the Elimination Chamber, but chose Vaquer. And Liv would have been like, "What? Like you have to go for Jade?" And she's like, "Nope, this is me." And like almost have that kind of Batista, Triple H, thumbs up, thumbs down situation. Like, and yes, they would have then had to find something for Jade to do. But I feel like they would have made a star overnight with Raquel Rodriguez. But
Take it.
Darren says here in the chat, big up Darren. He says these Chat GPT storylines, man, they shake.
Oh, fuck.
Aren't good. Like I feel like you can have two people just arrive for a big, F off WrestleMania match, which is basically what we're getting with Brock and Obafemi. And nothing needs to be said. It's just these two big bastards are gonna fight each other at WrestleMania. Who's watching, right? But with some of these other stories that they've Liv won the Royal Rumble. They've had since the end of January to tell a cohesive story that grips us all, and I just feel like they failed to do that. Question coming your way, Natalie, from Emperor Jar. He says, if the challengers were reversed, would you be more interested in the women's title matches? Do you think the builds would be better? So I guess that's if Jade was taking on Liv Morgan, and then you would have had Rhea Ripley taking on Stephanie Vaquer.
Oh.
No, because then I would have had different Royal Rumble winners completely. I don't think it matters to me that much. Because then I would have wanted Raquel I would want Raquel versus Stephanie or Raquel versus Jade. And then I would want Charlotte versus Jade. I don't think, because really I wouldn't want Rhea to be anywhere near the title scene, to be honest, because I think she had something good going on with Io and it was a shame to break it up early. I think there was still an opportunity there with the tag titles. I guess if it was like Liv and Jade doesn't even interest me, to be honest. It could be good, but it doesn't interest me at all. And then Rhea versus Stephanie, they've had matches, haven't they? They've had a title before, I think.
Who and Stephanie?
Rhea. I said Rhea. And Rhea Stephanie had a match. Remind me when?
I can't remember.
Rhea and Stephanie. I swear they have.
Who won?
Peeps, don't come for me for any wrestling knowledge, but I'd be surprised if they didn't see her for the title before.
No, I don't think they had a match yet. They were in like a tag team match. Wait, were they?
I don't think.
Oh, it was them three together though.
Yeah, I don't think that Rhea and Stephanie have faced each other one-on-one yet.
Yeah.
Because Stephanie hasn't done much of anything as champion, and then Rhea's obviously been in a tag team for quite a while during the year.
Okay, all right, that could be good. It could. I think that would be an excellent match. And I would be interested in seeing it. But like, actually, none won the rights to face the champions. If they were swapped, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't want it to be them anyway.
AJ?
I was going to say, I think the closest that Rhea and Stephanie Vaquer have had a match is Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yes, I was gonna say.
Because I remember she did the Devil's Kiss on the ladder to her.
Yeah.
And
so they were in a match together.
They were in a match together, but not one-on-one.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's one of them ones where these women are all talented to in their own little ways, and it's just like, if there's no story there, it doesn't matter what the combination really is, sort of thing. Like you still got to commit to telling a story. They've chosen ticket sales in this case, and they've pulled Rhea out of what she was doing to put her with Jade to tell this story that we're getting now. Kind of left Io Sky doing a bit of nothing. Rumors that she'll be involved in maybe some type of US title picture or something like that. So yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes. But yeah, as a whole, and as we're coming into close, Anarfi, I'll come to you first. How are you feeling about the women's title matches going into WrestleMania?
I'll be honest, it's not really gingering me yet, man. I don't know what it's gonna take, but it's not really gingering me yet, man. It doesn't feel as yet like we've had Brock and Obafemi. That felt. I hate to. The one thing I don't want to. I'm not comparing the male and thing, but it's what they've been giving us, and it's the food they've been giving us. Like, I just feel like they need a bit more of something. I feel like the Jade and Rhea Ripley stuff can be much better. Stephanie Vaquer stuff. Stephanie Vaquer seems very. Don't know. I feel like she's doing well with the whole her being angry and stuff, but Liv Morgan is not really doing. I don't know, man. I'm not really gingered, man. Not really gingered.
I just feel that Stephanie Vaquer is a very lucky woman to be going into WrestleMania as champion.
Yeah.
It's not her fault, but especially how we saw that they're switching titles. They want all their big guns in the big title matches. Going into this, I definitely just feel like Stephanie Vaquer's run has not been good enough for her to still be champion all of this time and go to WrestleMania as champion. Like, I'm shocked. In January or so, if you asked me to bet will she be in a women's world title match, I would have bet my house, and I would have been homeless right now. But I would have bet my house because I just thought like it's not gonna happen.
No.
Here we are. Natalie, your thoughts on those women title matches?
I'm waiting for the payoff, really, and that will be WrestleMania. But personally, I feel like maybe in the last couple of years, I haven't, and this goes for the men's as well, the builds to WrestleMania have been quite lackluster, and really, we just have to kind of just wait for WrestleMania to pay off, which quite sucks. There should be some great builds, so it's just unfortunate, but like, it's both the women and the men, it's not just the women. I am intrigued by knowing that Liv will probably win, and knowing that Jade will probably win. But if they can just tweak, we've got 4 weeks. If they can just tweak a few little things and maybe just get them to start fighting, maybe all they need is just fight. What really set me up for Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda was that random crazy fight that they had in the car park.
Yeah.
And then the glass shattering. Maybe they just crazy, just something where they all go crazy, just start beating each other up. Bring a little bit of blood there. I don't know, do some blading job. Who knows? Something to spice it up for me. If they do that, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, they definitely need something. I think with Rhea Ripley now having, with Jade now having Meechin and BFAB, it's almost like there's some obstacles there. We've got 4 weeks. 1 week will be Rhea beating up Meechin. 1 week will be Rhea beating up BFAB. And then she might have like a face-to-face with Jade, and they might have a bit of a scrap. Before you know it, we'll be at WrestleMania without Jade and Rhea maybe even touching. So that's the one thing that a faction does. It gives you people that can go and take losses instead of it being, the main person. AJ, what's your kind of final thoughts on the women's title matches going into Mania?
I share the same thoughts as Natalie. Like, I'm waiting for the payoff because like I said, I'm hoping that it was a thing where when it was Charlotte versus Rhea, like I said, the build to that was absolutely like, it wasn't bad, it was just lackluster. And then they pulled off probably one of my favorite matches in recent times on WrestleMania. So I'm hoping that it is like that, because I know these are like they're super talented women. They're really good at what they do in the ring. And yeah, I'm just hoping that the story, it will tell itself in the ring. You just said something interesting, great about obstacles, and maybe in the match, Rhea will have to overcome some obstacles that come across her way. And the same with Stephanie and Liv, like they have to come across some obstacles to find the victor. So I'm just like I'm more so just exercising patience and seeing that maybe in the ring the story will deliver itself. But then that's just again the sentiment I feel with the whole of WrestleMania as well. Like I just think all the builds have just been not that great. The only thing I'm ready for is Omar versus Brock. And now that Randy Orton is beginning to pick up his past self, and I'm still banking on Ted DiBiase to show up at WrestleMania. But I just think the story is only just picked up after Andy gave him that beat down, because I do genuinely believe that on the phone it was Ted DiBiase. But anyway, well, that's just how I feel all over with WrestleMania. I just don't think the builds this year, to, like, bar those two matches, have been anything to scream home about.
Isn't it a coincidence? The minute they started this feud between Randy and Cody, Ted DiBiase's been his name.
Boss case.
It's crazy. So maybe he might be involved down the line. Who knows? But that is us done for the day, man. Like we said, we chatted all things women's wrestling, Mercedes Moné, and imminent return to AEW, and of course the WWE Women's Titles scenes. Big up T and Tussle, big up AJ, big up Natalie, big up Chidera. Yeah, guys, like I said, in the description, you'll find the details for T and Tussle. Make sure you subscribe to their channel as well. And of course, WRESTHINGS. This week, Anarfi, what do we have coming?
So tomorrow, if you guys are up early and you're a member, you get a chance to watch Take Wars. So Mekz, last week I said, right, we had one more Take Wars episode. I got good news, guys. There's two more. There's another one. So there's two more. So you're gonna get one tomorrow. Then at Wednesday, we're dropping the Liam Slater interview. Liam Slater, great wrestler. He wrestled on Ref Row this weekend as well, and also one of the head honchos at PPW. Get an interview with him, and after also the usual podcast that comes out on a Friday. So we have no guest this week. But actually we have a guest this week. Sorry, we have our guys Jeff and Joel.
Yes.
They'll be on the podcast this week. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. Them guys are proper cool guys, man, and they know a lot about wrestling as well. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys can still checking out the stuff on our channel, stuff with Nina Samuels, the episode, the weekly podcast we dropped as well, stuff with Will Cruz and HMD. So yeah, guys, go check it out, man. And if there is something that we're gonna do with WrestleMania, like a WrestleMania watch along, we're gonna let you guys know. But for now, it's all up in the air. We leave it to God.
Leave it to God.
Leave it to God, man.
Yeah, big up. And look at the black caller. He says that I've subscribed to the ladies channel. So yeah, big up. Guys, we will be back next week, Monday, talking all things wrestling. For now, just subscribe, hit the like button as well on your way out, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
I might have to let it drop. I might have to let it drop.